Tom,
What's up, man?
have you ever heard of an old Soviet joke about the man at the newspaper stand?
No, I haven't heard that one. I've heard some Soviet jokes, but what's this one?
There's a man that goes to a newspaper stand every single morning. He looks at the front page, and he gets bummed and walks away. Well, one day, the manager at the newspaper stand asks, "What are you looking for?" And the man says, "I'm looking for an obituary." And the newspaper stand manager says, "Well, dude, the obituaries are at the end of the newspaper. You should look there." And the man says, "Not the obituary I'm looking for." What's up, everybody? This is Give Us the Launch Codes. Travis and Tom here.
Hey, everybody.
And hope you guys have a wonderful 4th of July in these trying times. This will be, America's 249th birthday?
Yes.
Yeah.
And,
Not quite 250.
And it's our 21st episode. Blackjack, baby.
Drinking age, I don't know. Our podcast is old enough to drink. No,
Yep.
God. Can you imagine if we kept doing this for 21 years? We'd
I mean, it would be kind of fun to think of 21 years from now.
Yeah. We better be making money by then.
I'll be bald for sure by then.
Oh, by the way, we have a Patreon now. Did you know that?
Oh, no.
Yeah, we have a
love
Patreon
that.
now.
Hey.
So if you guys, I don't know, want to give us some money, we just have like one tier for subscriptions. Maybe if we keep this going, we could elaborate upon that. But right now, we just have
Simple, straight to the point.
The normal $5 a month tier. So yeah, we're on Patreon. Give us the launch codes on Patreon. We're there.
Send us the love. And then also, too, then let us know, too, what you'd like to hear from us and how we can just keep growing.
So this 4th of July...
Coming up, right? Yeah.
Yeah. The thing I always look forward to on 4th of July is... I don't do this every year, but, in my hometown of Lakewood, which is where my parents still live, it's legal to shoot fireworks. It's legal to shoot fireworks. Not like the stuff that goes in the sky, but just more like the little firecrackers on the street. Smoke everywhere on the street, loud noises. Yeah, so that's what 4th of July means to me. It's fireworks and barbecue day.
Charred food.
It's becoming more and more about that and less about the freedom and liberty stuff, as we have masked agents of the state that just like kidnap people left and right for being immigrants. Not even for being illegal immigrants, because they're going to like immigration courts where people are trying to keep doing the immigration thing legally. People doing it the quote unquote right way, but they're still getting kidnapped by ICE and deported or being held at like creepy black sites that nobody knows. And they're wearing masks, so we can't identify who these people are and sue them or hold them accountable or dox them as a last resort. Some people would think. So, the whole thing about America equals freedom is kind of a question in my mind. And I don't know. It also gets me thinking, what is freedom anyway? What does that mean? Tom, have you thought about this?
Oh, well, freedom to me is just a propaganda tool. There's no such thing as freedom. Personally, that's just me. I grew up never knowing what freedom is. I grew up knowing that you have choices and actions, and whether they're really good choices, really bad choices, or like the right one, doesn't matter. There will always be a consequence to whatever you do. So just have contingencies and think ahead. So freedom is a bullshit word made up by politicians just to rally the masses. That's my opinion. There's no such thing as freedom. Because if there was, I could walk around naked. I'm not trying to be an asshole when I say that. I'm being serious. That's why we have laws, because that's the point, to limit certain freedoms, because there are certain freedoms that are just evil. There are certain, yeah. And when people say like, well, you have freedom of choice, I'm like, oh, that's an asterisk. There's freedom means not having an asterisk after the word so you can look at the bottom of the page to see what it means. Freedom is just freedom. There's no such thing.
Tater Tot has a lot to contribute because he's on timeout. So I imagine he has a lot to contribute about freedom at the moment.
And he's locked up, but in a nice doghouse. Like I would sleep in it. It's a nice doghouse. But yeah, so no. Okay, we have freedom of speech, like I said in our Constitution. Yet we all know it's the freedom of speech that makes a certain side happy. If we had real freedom of speech, we wouldn't have censoring on any of our television networks, like the basic four channels. Like you could say fuck, shit, and then cunt, twat, and all the other racial slurs without it being bleep, motherfucker, all that stuff. But they're censored. All our CDs that we buy for music have that E rating on it for the explicit and all that. Why? Who cares? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there shouldn't be even a G rating to R rating, because freedom of speech means who gives a shit. Just say what you want.
I think about the saying, my freedom ends where your nose begins. And I think that's kind of a good starting place for talking about the idea of universal freedom, of freedom applied for everyone, freedom and liberty for everyone, which is, which feels like, I should be able to live my life how I want at the expense of no one else, so that they could do the same. And that expense at no one else, I think, is a very important caveat there, because, some people miss that part. It's like, well, can't do violence. Violence isn't applicable to that idea, because that infringes on someone else's freedom.
Well, and like you said too, like that's why I said we have laws, because certain freedoms are evil. We used to be able to own people, but we realized that was pretty messed up. You used to be able to marry any girl of any age. We realized that was messed up. So as we grow as a country, we realize, let's take away that freedom, because honestly, it's messed up. And and here's the thing that might people say, like, well, that's just common sense. Well, it wasn't back then. That's why we grew. That's why we have changed it, and that's why people have died for that, and people have fought for that. That's it. I mean, hell, you could drink at really whatever age before a certain time, and now it's like, we're gonna wait till you're 21. It's like, oh, okay. Don't have that, luxury. Yeah. Really, kind of like when you think about freedom, it's what George Carlin said.
And rights aren't rights if someone can take them away. They're privileges. That's all we've ever had in this country, is a bill of temporary privileges. And if you read the news even badly, you know that every year the list gets shorter and shorter and shorter.
We live in the United States, and we love to jerk off about being a free country, until you actually look at other countries and you think, well, be nice if we had that. Be nice if we had that too. Like, what's a freedom that you don't believe we have, that Americans do not have, that you think we should have? I can come up with a couple.
Oh, I think of one, and the thing about that, it's a very dangerous one at the same time. So that's why I feel like it should be there, just to really show people, like, hey, kind of check yourself. It really is, to me, like there is no such thing as freedom of speech, because you can lose your job for saying certain things while on the internet. Mm-hmm. Is that bullshit? Yes. At the same time, it's like, you don't want that certain person working for your company who loves dropping that N-bomb real well. And they're not singing songs, people. They're not, reciting rap lyrics. It's really just, mostly just language, because you could say something, and it's sad to say that half will be like, yeah, you're right about that, and the other half will be like, we need to shut this person down. And it's like, why? If there's freedom of speech, the sad thing about that is you should be able to, it's unfortunate, but like I think you said it in one episode when we were talking about like freedom of speech, you should be able to say like, maybe black people should be in a tree. At the same time, at the same time, that's horrible. That person who said that online deserves to lose their job, because who wants that person working for their company? Yeah. It's that balance of like, let's be honest, is there freedom of speech or not? The answer is no, and it's a good thing. Mm-hmm. Do I want it to be free? In a sense, yeah, because I think that would really put a lot of things in perspective and people in check, in the sense of like, oh, yeah, it's kind of a bullshit thing anyway.
When I think about because I definitely sympathize with the idea of like, if you run a business or an institution, yeah, you kind of don't want like people who working for you that
Say
embarrass
fucked up
themselves
and say messed up shit.
and that because it's like that can reflect on you.
And
yeah.
I'm glad you said that too. When you think about business perspective, we had a big thing happen. It's still happening to a degree, but it happened within the past 5 years. A lot of actors were losing their jobs because they were saying stuff on Twitter, and it's like, well, you signed a contract, and it's called, and that contract says, hey, you're going to be the face of something. Like, what's that one actress's name from The Mandalorian? I actually forgot her name.
Oh, Gina Carano.
Okay, no, that's a very perfect example. Her.
Yeah.
You were signed a contract. You were part of a big show. The first 2 seasons of Mandalorian. It's a big show. It is. Her character, beloved, right, in the first season. We all loved her character. We all loved what she was doing. I like her as an actress. She was in Deadpool as well. Signed a contract with Disney, and they nicely told her a couple of times, hey, cool it with Twitter. They said it to her first verbally. Gave her a call. They gave her some courtesy warnings. She didn't, so they terminated her contract. She got fired. She kind of lost everything, and she went crying boo-hoo all the way to the Daily Wire and tried to do her acting career there. Regardless if it failed or not, it's like, lady, you signed a contract. When anyone who signs a contract, the whole point of a contract is you are legally bound to be a little less human.
And that's why the smart celebrities are the ones that have managers oversee their social media, and you can tell.
And the smartest celebrities just don't have social media, which is weird. It's like they're limiting their freedom to speak whatever they want.
Like I'm sure, like Beyonce is an example, of maybe like one of the smartest celebrities ever in this regard. Because I mean, I don't follow her on social media, but you know she has a social media media account.
Yeah, her and her husband.
And they don't tweet. They don't tweet themselves. They don't post things personal themselves. They
promote.
Are really freaking good at maintaining their personal image.
That's what a smart person does who has contracts being signed. Like, hey, and it sucks to say it. Hey, Travis, for $100 million contract over, let's just say 5 years, you're probably going to really filter yourself, for the company. Even if it's something you feel super passionate about, you're going to filter that shit.
Yeah, and also, if I'm getting paid that much, I imagine I'd probably be working a lot and really focused at whatever I'm getting paid that much for, to where I probably would forget to post on social media.
That's what I'm saying.
Or at the very least, I'd post my dog photos. You know,
it just shows you though, like the freedom of, like, I'm just, for me, just focusing on just freedom of speech, because I'm just calling bullshit on the whole thing. Money keeps you quiet. Contract will kind of keep you in check, and if you violate that contract, can't really boo-hoo it. You signed it. It's funny how you can sign away your freedoms on contracts.
You know, switching over, bringing up online, one thing I wish to be free from. You've heard of Google AdSense?
Yeah.
The idea that like whatever you search on Google is going to reflect in what type of advertisements you get in like your Gmail, or just any email really, but like, you know, your junk mail, your advertisements you get in social media, advertisements you get if you have like ad tiers on streaming services. It's like these big tech companies, which is why these services are for free. See, like everybody uses Google for work, you know, like not just like casually, but to look up any old thing. If you have a job in which, for any instance, you have to Google something, maybe like work research, or even better, just like you have a hands-on type job and you forgot how to do this one specific type of repair, well, there's a YouTube video out that. And you're going to use Google because Google, it's kind of like a feedback loop, and it's why Google's actually has gotten sued a few times for antitrust, because Google is everywhere, and because Google is everywhere, everyone uses it, and because everyone uses it, the service has gotten better at determining exactly what you need, which means keep people using it, which means the service gets better, and so forth and so forth and so forth.
Are you saying Google like has a monopoly almost?
And that's what the lawsuits are alleging. Obviously, if you're going to do any basic research, you're going to go online and you're going to go on Google, and specifically Google. You're not going to use Bing. I don't know if Bing's still a thing. I don't know if Ask.com is still a thing. Remember Ask.com commercials back in the mid-2000s?
Yeah.
Remember in the mid-2000s they were really pushing all these like alternative search engines to Google, but nobody wanted that.
No, because Google worked.
But the trade-off is that Google knows what you're searching for and is going to try to incorporate that search into its algorithms and figuring out what they can sell you and what they can show in your search results. So, like, let's say you're curious about something that's maybe illegal, or ethically questionable. I don't know.
Hentai,
porn or whatever. Like, you should be able to. I mean, they have the incognito window, I guess.
You want to get into the furry culture.
But you just want to be able to, like, look shit up. Like, in fact, it doesn't even matter what the stuff you search for doesn't even matter. It's like you should be able to look anything up online without, private companies trying to advertise for you based on what you search for, which therefore kind of fucks up the privacy of your Google search.
Yeah, because there is no privacy. That'd be great to have freedom, but you're saying privacy as a freedom? That'd be great.
So that's something where it's like, I should have freedom from advertising to a degree. I should have a freedom of, like, leave me alone, stop trying to sell me shit. That's one area. Hell, I have a hot take that I think I think if you subscribe to a streaming service. Not streaming service. I can't talk right now.
A streaming service. That sounds like a good idea, by the way. It's $1 billion idea, a streaming service. No, when you subscribe to a streaming service?
It's like there should be no such thing as an ad tier. Because it's like if you're paying into it, you should not get commercials ever.
Nope.
The point of commercials should be that is the trade-off for not paying for something. That's why Tubi exists.
You got commercials.
It's free, but you get commercials. That's a trade-off. And if you're okay with that, fine. But, like, if you pay an ad tier service for Hulu, it's like you're still paying. You're giving them money, but you're also paying for commercials. So it's like, I mean, I guess the excuse is you're paying for the content, but no. Like, I should be paying to watch if I'm paying for television, I should pay to watch television without
any commercial.
That
should be it, honestly, for the streaming service as a whole. Like you said, like no matter what, it's like, well, if you want you want to give me commercials, Netflix is free, but just to pay and not in tiers, just an automatic whatever the payment is, no commercials.
Yeah,
that'd be more people would have more subscriptions. For this episode, folks, we're just the concept of freedom has become very almost arbitrary at this point and just specifically for our country, because what you see on the news, it's freedom should not just be this boastful American thing at this point in this human history. In 2025, freedom should be a global thing. But it's funny how we just can't wrap our heads around it, let alone state to state. It's just a completely different concept what freedom is. People are getting pulled off the streets. That's just what it is. Like their freedoms are being taken away. And the thing is, though, it's not like, okay, fine, I agree. You being in a country illegally is a crime. Then you go to that country's court. But they're not. They're getting sent to, like you said, like down in the bayou or Venezuela. So that's illegal.
El Salvador is the place they're going to. Yeah,
El Salvador or black sites in the fucking bayou.
Yeah, hold it up at Home Depot somewhere.
That's why it's just, this is bad. And that's why you see all these protests / riots across not just LA, folks, it's the country, about like where you don't like how it's being done.
There was the big, massive No Kings protest on the day of Trump's birthday / that really pathetic military parade, army parade that he put up.
By the way, when you sign up for any branch of military, you know how much your freedoms are completely gone? Like, isn't that kind of funny how, like, to serve your country for the highest honor and calling, you have so little freedom?
Yeah, it's all about that chain of command. And this is why I find it kind of weird when I hear liberals, when talking about the Trump administration and, is he going to send out illegal orders? It's like, well, remember, the military, they took an oath to the Constitution, so that means, theoretically, they have the right to refuse an illegal order. And I'm like, it's the military.
You expect to change the
Their
command.
job is to take orders. If the president gives a go-ahead on a military strike, then you got to do a military strike, or otherwise you could be court-martialed. The military cannot thrive if it cannot function if you have people that disobey orders because they think those orders are wrong.
Yeah.
Uh,
All they can say is, all right, yeah, yes, sir. I think they're wrong, but yes, sir.
like when I hear that, I think this is just cope. This is cope. This is some sort of, Tom Clancy-esque fantasy of, the generals are gonna actually, you know what it is? It feels like a like a byproduct of how we sort of worship the military and how we think like, the generals and the officers, they're these very smart individuals and they take the weight of their actions on their shoulders. It's like, no, that they get an order from higher power, from a higher authority, they're gonna carry that out. That's just their job.
Yeah.
That's what they do. That's what they're supposed to do. Yeah, you do sacrifice some freedoms when you join the military, and then when you get out, you kind of get those freedoms back
to a degree. Like here's the best example of the freedoms you give up when you sign up. Vaccinations. You have no choice. You're gonna get.
Oh yeah.
And it's interesting because I've worked with several people in the military. One guy being in the Corps. And he said, I've gotten so many vaccinations, I am the cure for AIDS. I am the cure for cancer. Like, it's in my blood. Because, like, one time they like this, wait, did we give you this tetanus shot already? And before I could answer, they said, we'll just play it safe.
It won't hurt.
And it's almost quarterly they get it. Like, they get it, like, almost every 4 to 6 months, a series of shots. And then when you hear fellow citizens complain about like, well, I don't choose to get vaccinated because I could turn autistic, or my child doesn't need that because it's against my religion. And it's like, what do you say to fucking people who serve? Like
that goes to another question. It's like, because there are some people that can't get certain vaccinations because they have allergies, it doesn't mesh with their body chemistry, they're otherwise immunocompromised, as the term is.
But there's protocols for that one.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, well, this is a freedom question. If I get vaccinated against certain ailments, just any ailments that I could get vaccinated for, I am therefore ensuring the immunocompromised person's freedom to function and live and be in public without getting sick.
And without the bubble.
Isn't that a freedom that person should have a right to? And therefore, the dipshit refusal to not get vaccinated, as you described, isn't that a violation of the immunocompromised person's freedom?
Yes. Also, too, at the same time, easiest way to be like, well, because the rebuttal is, well, how do we decide that? It's called take a blood test. It's just called to go to the doctor and we find out. And
they have ways to figure that out.
And then guess what? It might sound also get dark because once again, what I'm about to say, it's like, remember, Tom, ICE has all of our medical records now across the country. At the same time, one way to, in the most utopia kind of like nice setting would be, it's like this, hey, on our street, there's 2 people who are immunocompromised. We all know, we all get it, and we all just keep a lookout. Unfortunately, that can go dark, knowing everyone's medical records at the same time. But at the same time, it would be nice to be like this. Oh yeah, we got 3 people in our 20 unit apartment complex who have immune deficiencies. The rest of us have our vaccinations. We're all doing good, and we just keep an extra eye out. If it's like, oh, I'm sick, I stay away from unit 4 for sure when I walk around the building. Yeah, it sucks that that's such a simple thing to do as a human thing, but again, having everyone's medical records gets dark. Unfortunately,
it can get dark. Yes,
it is dark right now.
Because RFK wants to now create a registry of all the autistic people, or anyone they deem to be some autism. He says it's to get a cure for autism by September, but we know that's a bunch of horseshit. We think that no, they want to send them all to farms.
It's called getting a train ticket.
Yeah.
So that's the thing balance. Like, their freedom isn't worth it if it's for the good of the community. It's when you think about it. Like, you need some freedom, sure, but at the same time, it's just this ever-changing thing when a society keeps evolving and evolving and evolving. here's a great big freedom that we have. The two biggest things that are always bullshit debated about in this country since the dawn of fucking time. It's speech and guns.
Speech and guns, yes.
And the thing about guns is this. Being a gun owner myself, I understand protecting yourself from not just, the government, but any other bad, forces or a wild animal in your neighborhood, wherever you live.
Mm-hmm.
But at what point does a advanced society need armament? You can have both questions. Yeah, I'm armed up just in case the government becomes a piece of shit. At the same time, when are we going to stop needing it to a degree? When are we going to stop needing it just as a whole against ourselves as a human? Now, I get the idea of like, well, when we make interstellar travel and we meet other species, it might be smart to have a gun. Sure, that's a different question. I'm just talking about within our species on our planet alone, at what point do we need guns in a sense for just amongst us? Because it's like, hey, how do you become advanced at that point? Or are we just going to stay tribal and just be like this? I don't like how you do when you walk down that street with that hood. Or I don't like how you look when you walk with those really baggy, jorts. I don't like how you look in that wife beater. I don't like how you ride down with that low ride. Any fucking thing you can think of that's tribal bullshit to have a gun for. Mm-hmm. It's like it goes both ways.
I'm less convinced by the we need guns to protect us from the government argument because they're not showing up right now. Like all the gun nuts fantasizing like we're here when the government gets oppressive. Well, we have a secret police doing SS shit right now. Where are the rednecks with the guns? Ooh, they
voted for this.
They're suspiciously absent right now. So I don't believe them one second. Otherwise, I should be seeing headlines for days of ICE getting into shootouts with Hicks on pickup trucks because my freedoms, my freedoms.
Shit.
You're threatening my freedoms.
We should even see it with
we should have like they should be propagandizing right now about there should be a ton of dead ICE agents. What I'm saying, if those if the NRA propaganda that we've been fed for decades is to be true, this is the moment, but it's not happening.
No, hell, isn't it interesting how you don't see vatos on lowriders doing the same thing? It's the same concept. It's like, hey, it's happening now. Interesting.
Yeah, you know why? Because they're not organized. It's like they're
not organized. And also too, they're full of shit. Because let's be honest, we're at an interesting point right now in our country where. Yeah, I'll speak loudly online or with a group of people, but let's be honest, who's really going to die for politics at this point? Like, really, die for what you politically believe in. Where was all that rah-rah, right? For the past 10 years about I would die for this, I would kill for this, this happens, that. We're seeing it now. Who's really willing to die politically for something? And
actually, you bring up they voted for this. Okay, let's take the devil's advocate. We had 4 years of Biden, and we know those people like to watch right-wing media, and they love to talk about every time there's a Democrat in office, it's the most oppressive presidency ever. God, the things they said about Obama when he was in office, saying, he's the successor to Joseph Stalin. He's going to bring Sharia law to America because his middle name is Hussein.
Yeah.
And they talked about him they talked about these two Democrats, and they even did the same with Clinton, especially after the whole Waco fracas. If Democrats in office, we're going to have less freedom now. Okay. Again, where are the guys with guns? Where are the guys with guns mounting up to? I guess. I shouldn't be too flippant about this because we did have January 6th. We did have that happen. There was an organized plot in Michigan to try to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer. That did. I mean, they stopped those guys, but some. I'm not saying there are no true believers in that. Because that did happen.
Here's the thing, though. I'm glad you brought up January 6th still because you're saying there's true believers. But as we saw those if you think about it from that point of view, all those true believers on January 6th are a bunch of pussies because they had their moment to do it. The majority of every single politically appointed person was at the Capitol. I'm saying, if you think about it from their perspective, they had their moment. When I was watching the news on that, I'm like, okay, this is it. This is the coup. We're finally seeing people put their money where their mouths are, or people are walking the walk. No, they didn't. Just 4 cops got killed. So who get? Like, I'm saying, no. So you can be flippant.
It was an angry mob.
That nothing happened. They did nothing. You know what they did?
They got all the Congress people out in time. Nobody got.
But you know what you know what they did? Mm-hmm. Like, and quoting them, the liberal hippie faggot pussies, they took pictures at Nancy Pelosi's desk to put on Instagram.
Yeah.
So no, you can be flippant because those true believers weren't really ready to die for what they believe in.
Yeah.
Because nothing happened. And they for sure weren't ready to kill, because if you're telling me that for this many years, okay, since Obama or since Clinton, that these Democrats are tyrants, they're taking away American freedom, they're traitors or this and that, they were right there for you to put on ropes on Capitol Hill. Mm-hmm. But they didn't. So it's obviously bullshit.
Yeah.
It is. It's just bullshit. Because it's cool to pose at Nancy Pelosi's desk with a, see, our mascot even agrees. It's cool to pose with a gun, holding the American flag, sitting at Nancy Pelosi's desk. That doesn't do anything. And I get what you'll say, like, yeah, some of them got arrested, some of them got fired, like that Bob's Burger voice actor for Jimmy Pesto.
They all got pardoned.
But and at the same time, they didn't do anything. Yeah. All that happened is 4 or 6 cops died. So you can be flippant.
A couple of the protesters, I think, or a couple of those insurrectionists died as well.
That's what I'm saying. But that showed you that no one's, even the ones who call themselves true believers, aren't willing to die or kill for political bullshit. Like, our forefathers so proudly.
Yeah. Because most of them are rich and they could pay people to start a militia and actually organize that.
And to me, the Obama years were boring. That's all it was. Just boring. For me, Joe Biden was just like, I'm focused on myself. Like, a dude 3,000 miles away means jack shit to me, even if he's in charge, even if this president. But we're seeing him do some shit, but no one's showing up. It's like, you know what? We're okay with certain other people's freedoms being taken away, as long as it's not in my neighborhood and it's not me, and it's like, hey, I don't really like you anyway. Mm-hmm. And it's funny how they bullshit on Clinton, yet he's the last president to leave us in a surplus, by the way. No, everyone loves to forget that about Clinton. Oh, yeah. We want them in jail so badly, but he was the last president to leave our country in a surplus. And the one who got us in a deficit was one of their guys. And by the way, I am not a Democrat at all. I fucking hate both parties. But don't bullshit me when the guy who just loved Jewish pussy so much, he left us in a surplus. And the dude who couldn't read got us into bullshit. And the guy who tried to do it well, Obama, just really, to me, just didn't have the backbone to kind of push back harder.
No, he absolutely did not.
And the guy who's number 45 and 47, he just wants to have a really good memoir book. Yeah. Don't bullshit me when you call freedom and stuff and you're a bunch of goddamn banner wavers.
There's a joke that I saw under the r/Star Trek Reddit, and yes, I'm bringing Star Trek into this. We should have like 2 chip jars, one for Sons of Anarchy and Star Trek.
I'm about to bring up Sons of Anarchy.
And we'll see like which one raises more money. But in the Star Trek subreddit, somebody said that so many Star Trek plots would fall apart if they had CCTVs. There's so many, and this is like, I think a lot of what they're, I'd have to watch a lot of the news stuff again, but I think they're mostly talking about like from like, obviously the 60s to 2005. The joke I have is like, well, they're written before 9/11. Of course they didn't think they're CCTVs, but there's a lot of episodes where there's some mystery occurrence either happening on the ship or in Deep Space Nine's case, it's the space station. All they have is the crime scene, but they don't have fucking security camera footage to look at. It's like, it was that guy. That guy walked out of the room. It was him. He did it.
It was Phil from Section 43.
There's the fucking there's the gaseous entity that possessed Ensign Hernandez,
I'm glad you also brought up 9/11 when it comes to freedom, because look how much we gave away our freedoms after 9/11 for security.
And it's so normalized on TV, which is why I'm talking about a TV show.
Yeah,
you watch like any crime show. Like, have you ever watched like NCIS?
A bit, not all the way, but like a bit.
Okay, NCIS or Criminal Minds, and I'm sure other CBS cop shows, and probably CSI is bad about this as well. But there's always the hacker kid character or hacker girl
Who can get into anything? Yeah.
who can hack into anything, get into your text messages, look up your emails, look up your search histories, all from a comfortable little supercomputer setup, and they can just call that person in their special they got a special cozy office in DC or Quantico or whatever, and then the agents in the field, they can call up their special hacker girlfriend, be like, hey, can you look up that person's text messages? And it's just sort of glossed over how they are completely, at least I feel like they're completely violating the suspect's privacy. And I'm like, don't you need a warrant to do some of that shit?
Wait. But Travis, didn't American traitor Edward Snowden tell us about that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. He moved to Russia.
Because he's a traitor.
Because he can't.
Yeah.
Because he kind of committed treason as like a whistleblower.
That American traitor who told us like this, yeah, no, we don't have any freedoms anymore. They're watching you.
Which, didn't we already kind of know that? But it was just that someone said that out loud.
Because it was ignorance was bliss. Because it's like, well, it'll protect us from, those people that just really can't even get to us.
And we've been watching crime shows for years that showed them doing that exact thing. Like, oh yeah, our text messages are accessible to
everything's
anyone
accessible
and monitored by the government. They could just do that. And you're okay with that when you watch the show because, well, obviously it's the bad guy.
No, yeah, it's not just you with your normal thoughts.
We got to get the bad guy. That's all that matters.
So yeah, 9/11 took away a lot of freedoms that we signed up for because I was like, oh, is it for the great? It's okay. It's like we're going to be more secure, and now surveillance, and we've got basically everyone's got a fucking tracker in their ass.
Yeah. If you go to the local mosque, get ready to have a lot of strange men in plain clothes looking at you, and a lot of cameras overseeing your area, and maybe some weird men following you home.
Can you step out of line while you're in this airport so we can just search you just a little better? Don't worry. It's okay. We're going to take you to this room and probably ask you to take out your tampon if you're a woman. Remember that? Remember that on the news when that woman, that Muslim woman got asked to be like, hey, just step over here. We're going to do an extra check on you, but in this private room. Can you get undressed? Can you take off your hijab? Oh, you're on your period. I'm going to pull that tampon out of you and all that. Remember that? That was on the news. Yeah. So it's like, no, they
found nothing.
No, they found enjoyment. Just what I heard from those TSA guys. They were enjoying themselves. Yeah, no, yeah, they were. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's just like their freedom is such a bullshit thing. It's just propaganda. It's just for some politician to rally the masses to whatever bullshit cause. It doesn't have to be just Republican causes. It also is Democratic. It's both. It's just bullshit. There's no such thing as freedom, folks.
Why can't we have
Star Trek? Basically the Star Trek world of utopia and just, it'd be...
Well, yes. But I was going to say, why can't politicians just run... It seems like, okay, whenever politicians talk about, like, freedom as, like I'm going to take away this thing that the government is doing to ensure freedom... It's always like safety regulations that companies do to make sure that, I don't know, an employee doesn't get their hand smashed while operating this assembly line machinery, or
an entire body of water has fucking oil all over it, or a 3 Mile Island.
Yeah, or employees can't sue if they get injured on the job or can't organize into a union. Why is that the only time they do that? Like, can you imagine if there was a local politician maybe running for Senate or state Senate, somewhere like lawmaking body, or better yet, just president. Let's go all the way. Like, if there was someone running for president that said, I'm going to get rid of email junk mail, I am going to make sure your internet searches are more private. Would you vote for that guy? I probably would. No one will ever campaign on that, though. But that's like something that like real people care about. No one cares about, I'm going to lower the deficit. I am going to make sure we have less debt. Who gives a fuck?
I promise just to do my job.
I am going to raise military spending again. I'm just going to keep doing that. I'm going to, I don't know. What did they talk about the last presidential election? I guess
For this one, you mean this current one that we had? This bullshit?
like last year. Yeah. Well, what were they?
It was literally
what were they
just
talking-
about secure borders, lower the deficit, stop being dependent on other countries, even though that's how the fucking market works.
I'm gonna make sure you're not taxed on your tips.
Yeah, which is like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Even though there's businesses and companies trying to get rid of tipping as a whole, as you saw in the if I'm believing right, the way we're going to release episodes, the interview that I did that's going to come out, the higher you go up, the status of fine dining when you're paying that that bill, those people don't get tipped. They just don't. So I was just saying, it's like it all comes down to, unfortunately, that being a Mr. Smith who goes to Washington type person, there's no money in it. That's all it is.
Unless you're like.
No, there's no money in it for anyone.
Okay.
That's what I mean. There's just no money in it. There's no money in just doing the job that apparently, millions upon millions of brave American men and women have died for. There's just no money in it. That's why we have all this bullshit with like oppression and like, we have a vice president who is openly saying we're going to focus on replacing every single Democratic appointed politician and replace them with our own. Yeah, that's called a one-party system, and there's no freedom in that. Because imagine if the Democrats said that with Obama. We're going to replace every Republican appointed person with our own.
Imagine if the Democrats said that is just like, and then insert
anything. And just the thing is,
it's just how fucked this country is.
You want to talk about
such a double standard.
You want to talk about real freedom? We have an administration who is admitting out loud on TV, we want a one-party system. That's not freedom. That's how people die. That's how people end up in chains. That's how you have a local, random, small little city town get covered in ash one day for 4 hours straight and wonder, where the fuck's all this ash coming from?
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like, oh, you're just bringing up Nazi bullshit. It's like, no, because that's what happened. Ask any German about this. They're going to be like this. Yeah, your country's fucked.
Or better yet, you know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like a certain country that we're bombing right now.
Hey, that's one of our future episodes. So yeah,
we'll talk about that. We'll get to that. I promise
soon.
you.
For the 4th of July, it's so funny. I've always celebrated it as a fun day just to have fireworks, be with family and friends, eat amazing food. But let's be honest, 4th of July is the only day where you can be allowed to eat 5 cheeseburgers and not get looked at. Let's be honest, hot dogs, cheeseburgers, smoked meat, grilled meat, potato salad. And as you get older, because let's be honest, this is what 4th of July really is fucking about, because that's how it's celebrated in this country. The older you get, the sexier 4th of July gets, because you can drink, and women look great in fucking United States flags bikinis. No, right?
The only downside of getting older on 4th of July is that you're way too big to use the water slides.
Yep.
It's not as fun when the water slides are tiny.
And the only other downside, the older you get with 4th of July, is when you have a newborn and it's like, fuck, I'm in fireworks city. I'm going to go spend the night with my parents who are in a city where fireworks are illegal, so my 1-year-old can sleep.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. 4th of July, no one sits down and like really thinks about, Jesus, man, you want to talk about what Theodore Roosevelt did during his presidency, and what fucking Abraham Lincoln did, and then what our forefathers did in 1776, and how many men died crossing the river, what was the Delaware?
Crossing the Delaware, yes.
No one does that. You know what we do on the 4th of July? We have fun, we get fat, we get drunk, and we check out chicks.
Yeah.
Because Bikini Day is amazing on 4th of July.
Yeah.
That's it. Mm-hmm. That's it. Let's not bullshit each other. And you know what? People are going to be like, well, that's kind of disrespectful. No, it's not. That's the fucking point of fucking moving on and growing up as a country and a society, that you get less warmongerish, you get less patriotic, because you don't need to die. Because guess what? What's that famous little couple lines from The Rock? Ed Harris and Sean Connery are in it.
Tree of Liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Thomas Jefferson.
Patriotism is the virtue of the vicious, according to Oscar Wilde.
At what point do we need to stop, just being like, hey, keep an eye out in America? It's because money. People are making money off this bullshit. People keep making, because here's the thing. If Both Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton and the Biden family are such horrible, horrible, disgusting, destroying our country people. Why aren't they in jail?
Yeah.
They're not. You know why they're not? Because Trump needs them around to keep talking.
Yeah. They're a nice
Democrat
little scapegoat.
that is doing all this quote unquote harm and destruction to this great, beautiful country will ever see any prison time because Republicans need them out and about just to keep the news going. Same goes for Democrats. You ever think you're going to see Trump behind bars? No, because you know why? The Democrats need him around. Goes both ways.
And they'll sanitize his image when the next guy comes around and is inevitably a lot worse. Just like they did with Bush. I remember Obama, I think it was in 2016 or was it 2020? Whatever it was. It's like, he was hawking for whatever the Dem nominee was at the time. And he was like,
my predecessor, who I disagreed with on a whole host of issues, still had a basic regard for the rule of law and the importance of our institutions' democracy.
no, he didn't.
No, he
George
didn't.
Bush should be in prison.
Yeah,
what the
but he
fuck are you
never
talking
will.
about, Barack?
Ladies and gentlemen, whoever you voted for on whatever political side you take, you will never see the opposition's people behind bars because your political leaders need them around to keep pumping the money and keep the flow of propaganda bullshit and keep the fire stoked. We'll never see any of these people behind bars because it's needed for the money to flow. That's it. That's all it is. How many times have we heard the whole Hunter Biden laptop bullshit? It's like, okay, dude, you're Trump, you're in power. No one's seeing even court time. There you go. It's all bullshit. No such thing as freedom. Just you know what it is. You know what you should be doing on this 4th of July, because this episode will be released on a Tuesday, and 4th of July this year is on a Friday. Go out and just be with friends and family on a beautiful barbecued, or if you have the traditional, if you don't have a barbecue, just your oven, your grill, your skillet, whatever you have that cook food. Just have a nice fatty feast with friends and family. Drink, have fun, buy some sexy swimwear, hopefully get laid at the end of the night. And be with your friends and family and kids and show them the magic of beautiful fireworks moving in. By the way, we use fireworks so much in this country to like propagate, 4th of July, fireworks, freedom. You invented fireworks, right?
The Chinese.
I know, yeah. You mean our fucking enemies?
But also our biggest trade partner.
Our biggest trade partner / enemy.
We don't like them, but we do a lot of business with them.
Yeah, we use fireworks, and they're a communist invention. I'm just going to say it, because that's what the propaganda is.
Weren't they like? Wasn't it like the 13th century they were invented? So
Exactly. You get what I'm saying.
communist invention.
It's all bullshit. It's just, and it's funny, like, too, speaking of, this just makes me think of all these marches and protests now, too. It's like, oh, there's a right way to protest. No, there's not. There really isn't. And I get it. You do want to protest and rally in an organized fashion that's palpable. Fine. But our forefathers were protesting by dragging the political leaders at the time out into the street, tarring and feathering them and beating them. So
Yeah.
don't bullshit me that there's a right way to do it.
We could do.
Yeah.
We could do a whole episode about the whole like when is political violence acceptable nonsense. And I think we should do that episode because
Sure.
I have a lot to say.
You know what the answer is? It's yes and no. It's just yes and no.
Sorry, but it sounds arrogant. But it's like, are you doing it for the right reasons, or are you doing it for the wrong reasons?
And it's
are you
when
doing it for the right
Yeah.
side or the wrong side?
It's when shit hits the fan. Because okay, well, I'll say this. Sure, attacking businesses and stealing stuff. Yeah, that doesn't look good.
Yeah.
The protests that happened in LA when they were just setting random cars on fire and breaking into shops to steal stuff. Yeah, fuck you. But at the same time, don't you try to say like, well, there's a right way to protest. No, there's not. There's not. There's not. There is not. There is no fucking right way to protest because
There's what's legal and what's not legal.
It's
what
just-
the state is okay with and what the state
it's
is not
what the
okay
media is palpable with.
with. Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because again, our forefathers, they just dragged people out onto the streets and tarred and feathered them. And guess what? Those are American people, goddammit. Those are our American saints who did that shit.
That's what the red stripes stand for. The blood that was spilled.
I remember watching them recreate that in that Patch Adams miniseries with Paul Giamatti, and him and his, he plays sorry, not Patch Adams. I don't know why I said Patch Adams.
I was like, wait, they made a Patch Adams miniseries?
I meant John Adams.
John Adams,
The
yeah.
John Adams miniseries that Paul Giamatti played. John Adams is hanging out with his cousin Sam Adams, and Sam Adams is leading a protest, and they drag some British politicians out on the street and were beating the holy fuck out of them. And it's funny, you know what John Adams, one of our American saints, said?
Oh, yeah.
This is barbarism. This is madness. And then Sam Adams is like this, and it needs to happen. So it's like, no.
It's revolution, bitch.
Yeah, so don't ever bullshit me that protests should be peaceful and blah, 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 blah. Go fuck yourself. If shit hits the fan, people turn into animals.
I for one, am absolutely looking forward to celebrating our independence, which was made by people calmly sitting down in a room and talking, because it wasn't like a war happened or anything,
No,
right?
kids to kids. And
the Declaration of, once they sent the Declaration to England, King George was like, by gosh, you're right. No way I'm gonna win this. You know what? Go have your own country. We don't need to make a big thing out of it.
Yeah, and when you have and by the way, America, when you have your own civil war, we won't try to fund one side. We'll be sure to stay out of it like good neighbors.
Yeah, we won't attack you. We won't try to fuck you.
But don't worry, in 1940, we're going to call you for help.
It's all good. It was all friendly. Nobody got harmed. No. George Washington didn't lead an army or anything. He wasn't a general. He was just a really nice guy that everybody liked. So like, hey, we should make this guy the president.
Yeah.
He had no military history or anything.
No, he didn't send men to their deaths at all.
No.
For strategic strategy. He didn't have certain people shot and gunned down. And
Oh, God.
Our fine Minutemen and militia didn't, kill innocent British people who weren't in the military.
Yeah, the army was founded in 1775, but it's not like they did anything.
Don't bullshit yourself with all even Tater Tot agrees here. No protest is done peacefully. It's a bullshit thing just to keep calm, because you know why? The insurance people don't want to deal with it. Just don't bullshit it. It's because remember, what was it, in the 60s? Two men fighting for the same cause had different ideas on protest, didn't they? Two men from the 60s fighting for the same civil rights cause had two different wild ideas about it. And as we found out later, Martin Luther King Jr. said, you know what? I think Malcolm was actually right.
And they both got murdered, so.
There you go. One while talking and one...
Probably both by the FBI.
Shit.
So they probably both got murdered by the feds.
It was funny. I've watched newsreels of the civil rights movement in elementary school and junior high, and it was funny. Well, you see all these well-dressed, well-organized, even quiet, just walking, marching, beautiful, like well-dressed black people. And what are they saying? Look at these people disrupting everything and doing it this. Sit down and just, sit at a desk and vote with the letter. They're disrupting traffic. They're walking around. They're making a scene. They're making people.
It's not like they need a voting rights act or anything.
They're making people uneasy. We should grab some hoses and dogs.
Mm-hmm. Yep, same playbook. Never changed.
The only thing
60 years later, we're
just missing the dogs. That's it, really.
Yeah, for now.
For now.
In certain municipalities.
It's just, and it's funny how it's like, at first it was like, oh, it's just L.A., that shithole city L.A. is doing it. L.A.'s on fire. It's just a city block. It's not a city block. Right?
Yeah.
And then you find out the rest of the country did the same fucking thing. How interesting is that?
Mm-hmm.
And they're all upset and all like getting pissed off.
Turns out a lot of people like freedom.
I know, right? Even though it's a bullshit a made-up man thing anyway.
Here's what I will say. I don't fully agree with the idea that freedom as a concept is bullshit. It's ways it can be invoked but I think it is I think it is universal and natural. I think it is natural of human beings to want to live a free existence and to seek out a free existence. The great thing about 4th of July is if you're not working, it's wonderful. And
if you're lucky enough to have a job that gives you that day off, by the way, good for you, because it's weird how so many American businesses don't have that off.
of which I would say, if you do have that day off, please don't go shopping, because that way the people that are forced to work that day, who are going to get paid anyway, people forced to have a less active day, a calming day, and, maybe free to be a little more relaxed at work that day than usual. Grant them just some little bit of freedom. Do all your shopping ahead of time.
And don't do it just on the 4th of July, folks. Do it on Thanksgiving, on Christmas, on President's Day.
Yeah.
New Year's Day, New Year's Eve. Isn't it funny how when we talk to our dads, Travis, about when they were growing up, it's like, yeah, 4th of July, everything was closed.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird. It's almost like people are open because businesses realize they can make this weird thing called money.
Last minute shopping.
Isn't it weird? Money. It's all. It all comes down to money. Really, any bullshit you see on the television, in the newspaper, and on your phone, it just comes down to someone wanting a little bit more of money. And it's funny when you think about money, it's just pieces of paper with pictures on them just to keep us from killing each other.
That we all agree have value for no other reason other than its convenience.
We all agree that it has value, and we bitch to not having enough.
I believe freedom is a universal concept, and therefore, and something that we naturally seek, and therefore, I believe it is not only necessary and imperative, but also natural for us to seek freedom, seek more freedoms, seek freedom for ourselves, and seek freedoms for other people so that we may share in those freedoms together. Because, there's a famous quote by a poet by the name of Emma Lazarus, who and this quote has been paraphrased by a bunch of other people and civil rights activists since then, but it comes from the 19th century where she said, until, I don't know if this is the exact wording, but it's like, until all of us are free, none of us are free.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who Emma Lazarus is, she's the one that wrote the poem on the Statue of Liberty, give us your tired, give us your poor. That's who that is, and that's why you should care who that is.
And by the way, folks, Statue of Liberty is French made.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind for this 4th of July.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that a lot of things are not American made. There's a reason why.
Money.
Money. Wait, remember Deepwater Horizon? Money, money, money. Money. Enjoy what you have right now, because it could go tits up real quick beyond more than what we have. Because what's funny? Because we are talking about all the stuff that's happening with ICE and the protests. I love how it started off as we're going to get rid of every single illegal immigrant who's here illegally for the betterment of this country. But wait.
Turns out there's not that many of those.
And at the same time, the ones who are exempt, so the ones who are allowed to commit a crime being here illegally are hotel workers, farmers, and grocery workers. So the president said that 3 groups of people can commit a crime, just so you know.
Well,
in his eyes.
Well, if the crime is being here undocumented, yes.
No, but
if it's like actual crimes, well, I'm sure they
of course not a crime. But you get what I'm saying. He has focused all this effort to get rid of criminals. Yet he said, well, if you have this occupation and this occupation and this occupation, you can commit the crime.
Meanwhile, people that are doing it the right way are also doing it the right way, as idiots that don't know how immigration works will say. They're still getting in trouble. They're still getting rounded up by ICE because ICE has quotas.
Yes.
That's the only
Really?
explanation, is like they are like required to like round up a X number of people per week. Well, they're trying to do it the right way, but they're still getting trouble. That might mean that other immigrants who are here legally, that have a work visa and do have to check in with immigration offices, they might not want to do that. They might not want to do it legally anymore because they're still going to get in trouble.
It's like a trap.
There's a problem with that. There's a very serious and very easy to solve problem in my experience with that, in my opinion with that.
And I'll say this because I know you brought it up, saying like, hey, where are the true, patriotic believers and where are those rednecks with guns? Isn't it, at the same time, it is great to see that it hasn't been any shootouts in the streets over this right now. As of now, it's a good thing because regardless of who you are, death is just horrible. Violence is just horrible. Regardless if you're an evil guy or a good guy, death is bad. And it's nice that so far there hasn't been any citizens shooting.
Yep. Not yet.
And it's sad to say that it's just yet, because everything right now is a pressure cooker.
And by that, for example, by that you mean like citizens being shot at by police with
Vice versa. I'm talking
rounds.
with lethal rounds. I'm talking with actual bullets.
Yeah.
I'm talking about ICE not emptying clips and someone protecting their loved one from getting detained, unloading with a 12 gauge.
I was going to say
it goes both ways.
because we did have two state politicians in Minnesota get murdered by someone pretending to be a police officer.
Oh, that was horrible. I'm talking about just specifically with all this
specifically
ICE,
with actual law enforcement,
with the ICE and protests and the detain. It is so close to going Shitsville, and on the news you're just seeing blood and bullets. It is that close right now.
Maybe bombing another country will calm things down in that regard.
Yes, because the more of those Tuscan Raiders who get killed makes everyone happier.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I said it because that's where we're fucking at.
We know what George Lucas was going for with the Tuscan Raiders. We know what Tatooine was supposed to be.
Maybe this whole episode about freedom is before you open your mouth, just think. Think about what's going on, what you're seeing, and how a lot of stuff's getting flip-flopped on both sides.
Don't accept the freedoms that you have. Think about the ones you don't have.
And think about the ones that should be there for your grandkids.
Yeah.
Because a real good person, a real great quote-unquote leader and man, plants trees for which the shade he'll never know.
Yeah.
So think that way. Think it like
to
that.
Absorb the carbon in the air, because I would like my grandkids to grow up in a not burning world.
I got two babies right now. I got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. Who the fuck knows what it's going to be like once they're 18-year-old men? Because it's funny, when I was 18, you know what I had to automatically do, like without choice? Sign up for selective service.
Yep.
You and I had no choice with that.
I had
we?
to do that too.
Did you know what I do? I still keep it on me just in case, because I'm a little paranoid, because who the fuck knows?
I'm trying to remember if I still have my card.
But you get what I'm saying?
I might have gotten rid of it after I was
What do you think
25.
it'll be for my boys? One of them being your godson when they're 18-year-old men. So don't just do what Travis said about think about the freedoms that you don't have. Think about what freedoms will be like for the next generation and 2 generations down. Here's a crazy concept, folks. Think 50 years from now. What all this will do. What's the consequences of everything happening right now 50 years from now?
Did we do a sponsor?
Oh, yeah. Here's our sponsor. Charcoal.
Are you saying that charcoal is better than propane?
Honestly, I like electric. I'll say it. I worked in and out for so long. I prefer an electric grill. I just like it. It's cleaner. It's more even. Makes sense. I don't give. You know what's funny? I don't give a shit how my fucking burger's cooked. It's gonna turn brown in 2 hours.
How dare you?
Travis, are you gonna take away the eating habits of my freedom? Travis, are you gonna force me how to eat a burger?
So have a happy 4th. Enjoy that time off, because apparently, according to our president, we have too many days off, and yet he only complains about it with the holiday about black people. But even still, just enjoy it while you can, and shoot off some fireworks, even if it's illegal in your neighborhood. No, don't actually do that. I can't condone that.
Don't. I find fireworks annoying. Personally, it's funny. Personally, I find fireworks annoying. At this point, maybe it's because I'm a dad with 2 kids.
Somebody keeps shooting them off at night right now, and it's not like, it's just like one boom and that's it, and it's clearly down the street because it's very close and loud. But Tatey handles it very well, so it's all good. He's resting now. He's finally calmed down. We apologize for all
He was very patriotic in what we were talking about. He has feelings. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
I'm waiting for Tom to say the thing.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
All right. Bye, everyone.